Now that I have my voice back, I want to redo the test review. Number 1, it says, what does the slope of the graph of this situation represent? That should say table. And so what does this table represent when you're talking about the slope? Remember, it is the change in y over the change in x. And so y is talking about the file size, and x is talking about the playing time measured in minutes. Which one says that? Answer choice C. The file size of the video per minute. Number 2, a painter charges $25 per hour for labor plus $30 for a ladder rental when he paints a house. So that right there tells me the per is applied to the $25, not the 30. So that is 25x plus 30. You never add those together. This has an x, this one does not. So they are not like terms. They stay separate. The x does not go on the 30 because per is in the sentence with the 25. It's applied to the 25. So A is the answer. Number 3 asks you to find the answer below that will represent the rate of change, M. Well, remember, rate of change, M, is slope. So if the same painter now increases what he's going to charge to 55 every hour, that right there tells you 55x. Whenever you see the words every, hour, a, each, it's referring to the slope. So 55, it's going to go next to x, so that's the hour, and then we add on the rental fee. So now we see that our answer for slope is going to be the number by the variable, the letter. So the number by the letter, the number by the variable is 55. That is the slope. Remember, this is the pattern. And the pattern is the slope. Number 4, which below describes the slope? So we want the change in y over the change in x. So the total cost per hour, total amount charged per hour. Number 5. It is asking you for the independent variable. The function, oh, you can't see that. The function of labor hours that will be used to paint ladders is represented by this equation. What's the independent variable? Well, function of labor hours is f of x. So this is the x. And what does that have to do with answering the question? Well, if on the x-axis hangs the I, and on the y-axis sits the D, then what am I telling you? Whatever x is independent. And if this is x, then that's the independent variable, the labor hours. So which one says labor hours? That would be answer choice B. Number 6. It asks you for the change in y over change in x. That means I'm asking you for slope. So what is the slope? Well, if each floor of the building is going to be 3.7 meters high, and the architect is designing this office building that has n floors, and the antenna is an additional 13.85 meters tall on the roof, then it's 3.7 n plus an additional 13.85. The slope is going to be the number, the coefficient, because it's in front of the letter. This is a coefficient. It's a number in front of the letter. This is my slope. This is also what we call a pattern. And that pattern has a slope. It is a slope. Answer is C. So don't get confused when I say coefficient. I'm giving you a vocabulary word. A coefficient is a number in front of a letter, a variable. And this is the one in front of the letter for this problem. So this is going to be my pattern, my slope. Number 7, I'm going to show you the shortcut, and I know your teachers are going to show you how to do the long way in class. I take that back. I'm going to show you the long way with answer choice C for number 7 and the shortcut on number 8. So it wants the slope. It says which table shows the rate of change. That means what is the slope. Now when it says y with respect to x, that means y equals, and make sure that x is over here. That's all it's saying. y equals y with respect to, put y equals, and then x on the other side. So as you can see, I have y, I have an equal sign, and x is on the other side inside of the equation. So that's what that means. Don't let that scare you. Now, if I see the slope, which is the coefficient in front of the letter, it's the coefficient, the number in front of the letter, the variable, it's 1/2. My slope is 1/2. Now, is the slope of this table 1/2? Well, the difference here is +2. The difference here is +4. The change in y over the change in x. So that's 2/4. What does 2/4 reduce to? 1/2. From here, 9 to 10 is 1. From here to here, it's +2. So the change in y over the change in x. So 1/2. 10 to 12 is +2. +4. 2/4 is the same thing as 1/2. From here is +3. From here to here is +6. 3/6. What is that? Change in y over the change in x. That's also 1/2. So the slope of this table is 1/2. The answer is C. You could have also gone to the calculator and went to the home screen. Escape, go to the home screen. I want to start over, so I'm going to press 1. Do I want to save? No, I do not. Yes, I want to graph. And now I want to put this in. So I don't have to put the y, but I do 10 plus Control divide 1 and then 2. Press over and then hit X. Press enter. There is my line, but I want the table. Control T. And there is my table, and I can check it. It says 010. It says 412. It says 1015. Now I need to look for -2, and look for -6, 7. So this is the answer. On number 8, you can do the same thing. Plug this in the calculator, and the answer you get is C. So I want a new one. Press on. Actually, let me go back to where I was. If I press 4, it'll take me back. You know what? I want to show you. If you press Control Dock, it opens up a new page, and then you can just hit graph. You don't have to start over. So now I'm going to put 4 minus 5/8. 4 minus Control divide 4. No, that's 5/8 over X. There it is. Make sure you press over, because if not, the X will be down there with the 8. Press enter. Now what am I going to do? I'm sorry, my phone is ringing. They're going to have to wait. Okay, so now what we're going to do is hit Control T. And then when I look and compare the table, at 2, is it 2.75? Yes. At 4, is it 1.5? Yes. At 8, is it -1? Yes. Now go up to -4. When that happens, just press escape. Okay, now let's go up to -1, -4. There it is, 6.5. So it is correct. C is the answer. Moving on. Trying to make this quick because I don't want to keep a lot of your time. I want to know which one is less steep. Well, if I extend these lines, let's talk about a roller coaster ride. If I am on a roller coaster or even going up a hill, which of these two, line 1 and line 3, would be scarier to go up? Well, that one doesn't look as scary as this one, because this one is kind of tall. This one's standing up more. So this is the scarier line. Well, the scarier the line, this is the scary line right here. The scarier the line, the steeper the line. So which would be less steep? Answer choice number 1. You can't see me again, can you? I'm sorry. Let me move that down. Given the 3 parts of the graph below, which line is less steep? Well, if I draw number 1 and I draw number 3, which one would be scarier? Well, this one is not as tall as that one. The taller it is, the scarier it is. So this is the scarier line. I asked for which one is less scary, less steep. That would be number 1. If you look at these 2 examples here, which line is scarier? Well, this one is. So this is the steeper line. And when I say scarier, I'm talking about a roller coaster. So if I'm on a roller coaster, which one would you be scared of? Yeah, that one, because it's standing more. So this is scarier, and I asked for the less scarier line, the less steep line. That would be this one. Number 10. Which situation could be used to interpret? Well, if it's steeper, I'm moving faster. So let's look at these 4 answer choices. Which one am I moving faster at the end? And if this one is less steep, then it's not as fast. Okay? So I need to go slow. I'm at a constant stopping point here because I'm standing still, but time is moving. And then I'm moving on a little faster. The answer is D. Walking home from home, stopping, and then running. There is no other answer choice that runs faster. Number 11. -1, 2, it asks you to what line has this point and this slope. So you have to first draw that line. Then once you have that line, what other points are on that line? So -1, 2 is here. 1/2 means to rise 1 and then run 2. So I'm going to go up 1 and to the right 2. Up 1 and to the right 2. Now, could you have gone to the right 2 and then up 1? You sure can. As long as the top means rise and the bottom means run. Go down 1 and to the left 2. Down 1 and to the left 2.
Jonathan Huell, you need to meet your ride by the main office,
Sorry.
please. Jonathan Huell, meet your ride by the main office.
Okay, and now I need to find a point, and I see 3, 3 is not a point on this line. 1, 2, and it's not a line yet because I need to connect it, so let me model that for you because you should be using a straight edge to connect. And I notice that 3, 4 is on that line, so that would be the answer. Moving on to number 12, and I want to make sure that I have this pulled down so you can see it. Okay, so we want to find the missing number. This is x1, y1, x2, y2. So this is 8 minus 2 over 5 minus x. There is something that goes in there. And what is that something? Well, 8 minus 2 is 6. And how can I make this become -1? He has to be -6. That's the only way I can get -1 because that's the slope. Now, if this is -6, which answer choice will give me -6? Well, 5 minus 1 is not -6. 5 minus 4 is not -6. But 5 minus 11, it is. Now, how else can you do this problem? You can go to the calculator. So I am going to go to the calculator. And I am going to type control divide. And do 8 minus 2 over 5 minus and put in the answer choices. When I put in 1, it does not give me -1. Press up twice, select it, and press enter. It brings it down. Now I am going to put in 11. And what does it give me? -1, and that's what it said the slope needed to be. Number 13, I would draw the slope guide. And for slope 0, I'm talking about the mouth because the chin says the mouth has a slope of 0. So the answer is B. If you choose A, you're talking about the nose, and the nose is vertical. Okay, so this has a slope that is undefined. Which table is linear? We're going to check the first difference. So from here to here is -6. From here to here is -2. From here to here is -1. From here to here is -1. From here to here it is +1. From here to here +1, +1, +2. Well, these don't match, and then these don't. So I know this is not linear. And you do that for all your answer choices. When you get to D, you get lucky. There is my linear table because the first difference here is the same, and I have to make sure that all of these match as well. Number 15. Now, when I see an X and a Y, I am allowed to look at the exponent and see if I see a 1. I don't see 1. There's no exponent there. That means it's implied that it's 1. So this is linear. I see an X and a Y. I can now look at the exponent. Do I see 1? Yes. Is it a 1? No. That is not linear. Now on this one, I see a Y and an X, and it doesn't have an exponent, so I know you probably want to put a 1. But that's incorrect because that 1 is an exponent that sits at the bottom of the fraction. It's in the denominator. The x can only be on the side of the fraction or in the top, not at the bottom. So this is not linear, and we went over that in class. Is this linear? I see my y, I see my x. It doesn't have an exponent, so I know it's 1. That is at the top, it's not at the bottom, so I know that's linear. A y and an x, and I see a 1 on the exponent, or I know there is 1 there, so this is linear. Which ones would not be linear? The answer is A, 2 and 3. Last but not least, 16. Which one describes the graph below? Well, this is a linear equation. It's a linear line. It's a line. And we know inside of the word linear is the word line. So I need to find a linear equation down here, and there's only one. That has a square on it, so that's not linear. That's absolute value, so it looks like a V when you graph it, so that's not linear. And that has an X in the bottom, so that's not linear. But what should you know about y equals x? It is the parent function. And what do we know about the parent function? It goes through 0, 0. When x is 2, y is 2. When x is 4, y better be 4. How is that? Well, if y equals x, whatever x is, y has to be. Now, this will only work for the linear parent function. This is the only parent for linear equations. Even when x is -3, my y is also what? -3. When my x is -6, my y is what? -6. And there it is. So this is the linear parent function. Now, if I drew this graph here on a sidebar, would that be y equals x? No, this would be one of the kids. This is a child that has a similar trait. To be the parent function, y equals x, you have to do the following things. First, it has to go through 0, 0. It can only be in quadrant 1 and quadrant 3. As you see, this is in quadrant 1, quadrant 2, and quadrant 4. Also, it has to be positive. This is going up, that's going down. And whatever the x value, the y value has to be. That's when I know if it is the linear parent function.